Hi everyone, I hope you're all okay. It's Miss Howship here. I hope you're staying safe at home. So Friday marks a really exciting event that we are going to be celebrating. So Friday is the 75th anniversary of VE Day. Now some of you may already know what VE Day is, and some of you may have never heard of it before. So we're going to have a look together at what VE Day is, and I've got a really nice activity for you to do as well. So VE Day then, the first ever VE Day was in 1945 on the 8th of May. So here are some pictures here from the very first VE Day. What I would like you to think about is looking at these pictures, what might VE Day be? So you might want to pause me now and go and speak to somebody in your house and see what they think. So VE Day then stands for Victory in Europe Day. So Victory in Europe. So in 1945, the country had been at war in World War II for 6 years, and it finally came to an end and Britain won. So this is their Victory in Europe Day. So as you can see, we've been at war since 1939, and this was called the Second World War. So I've got some pictures here just to talk to you about some aspects of World War II. So this picture here shows people working hard to try and save people from rubble. Can you see all the rubble here? These used to be buildings, but Germany bombed Britain, and many cities such as Coventry, Birmingham, London, had houses and buildings destroyed. Many people were killed and a lot more were injured, and they couldn't go back to their homes because they weren't there anymore. Also, they had their food and drink rationed. The Germans also were stopping food and drink coming from other countries to Britain, so there wasn't much food in the country at all. So people had a book. Can you see this? This was called their ration book. And this would monitor how much food they were having so that everybody got their fair share. So you can see here we've got some packs of butter and packs of margarine there, and that's how much a family would be allowed. It's a little bit like today. Do you know how we're going to the supermarket and we're running out of food? It's a little bit like that, but obviously on a much larger scale, and it was much harder for Britons in that time. We've got a picture here of some soldiers. Now, soldiers who were fighting away at war, they couldn't come home and see their families, so they'd go really long periods without seeing their family at all. They were out on their own in different countries fighting, and they couldn't see their family. And it's not like today where we can FaceTime our grandparents or our friends, and we can communicate with them. The only form of communication they had was to write letters, and obviously they weren't sure whether that got there or not. A lot of these soldiers, they died or were wounded. So Britain as a country really struggled through World War II. It wasn't just the soldiers that were struggling, it was everybody. It was a really hard 6 years for people that were alive then. But on the 7th of May 1945, at 2:41 a.m., Germany surrendered. Now the word surrendered here means to give up. So Germany gave up because the leader of Italy and also the leader of Germany, we know the leader of Germany is Adolf Hitler, don't we? They were both dead. They'd both been killed in action in war. And Germany was in a much worse state than Britain. They were really struggling. They had no resources left to fight this war, so they gave up and they declared Britain as the winners of the war. So lots of people took to the streets to celebrate, and we'll see that more in a minute, including the royal families. This was a royal family at the time. This person in the middle was Winston Churchill. He was the Prime Minister of the country. So he's the equivalent of our Boris Johnson today. Here we've got King George. Now he is our Queen, so Queen Elizabeth's father. Here's Queen Elizabeth. She was a princess at the time, so Princess Elizabeth. This was her sister, Princess Margaret, and this was her mother. And they came out to celebrate with the people of Britain. Now, on the day of VE Day, Winston Churchill gave an address to the country through the radio, because televisions were quite scarce at that time, and he spoke to the nation about war being over. It's very similar to Boris Johnson coming on our televisions each week and talking to us about the coronavirus. Winston Churchill did the same. So he said a lovely quote here: "My dear friends, this is your hour. This is not victory of a party or of any class. It is victory of the great British nation as a whole." So we're going to watch his full speech now. I want you to think, what does he mean by this here? Let me just add sound. I'm very sorry. There we go.
Yesterday morning at 2:41 a.m. at General Eisenhower's headquarters, General Jodl, the representative of the German High Command, and of Grand Admiral Dönitz, the designated head of the German state, signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied expeditionary forces and simultaneously to the Soviet High Command. Hostilities will end officially at 1 minute after midnight tonight, Tuesday, the 8th of May. But in the interest of saving lives, the ceasefire began yesterday to be sounded along all the fronts. The German war is therefore at an end. We may allow ourselves a brief period of rejoicing. Today is Victory in Europe Day.
This was the moment we'd all been waiting for. Enormous crowds had gathered outside the House and all over the centre of London to hear the end of the war in Europe officially announced by the Prime Minister.
So as you can see then, from the end of the video, everybody was waiting for this day. So many people came out of their houses into the streets to celebrate and to have a party. So moving forward to today then, this year marks 75 years since VE Day. And on Friday, the country will have a bank holiday, which means that those people at work will get the day off. You won't have to do any schoolwork. And it's only the second time that we've ever had a bank holiday on a Friday. So normally our bank holidays are on a Monday. So the Monday just gone would have been our bank holiday. But to coincide with the anniversary of VE Day, we've got the bank holiday on Friday. So you may be celebrating VE Day on Friday in lots of different ways. I know my street and lots of different streets, we're all having a social distancing picnic where we all sit outside our houses and we decorate our houses in red, white and blue, and we all celebrate together such a special day. I'm sure there'll be lots of things on the television that you can watch. And also, if you want to find out some more information about VE Day, there's lots of great websites and there's some great videos on YouTube. So your task from me is to create a poster to tell everybody about the anniversary of VE Day. So as you can see here, there's some examples. We've got some lovely examples here where they've got pictures of the fighter planes to commemorate how we won the war. This poster here has got a lovely picture of a soldier and his family. This picture here has got some, can you see in the 75? It's got all the pictures of from the war. And we've also got the dates on 1945, which was the first ever VE Day, and 2020, and it's the 8th of May. Obviously, your posters can be a lot more exciting than these. These are just a bit of an example for you. I'd really like it if you can see here that I'd like it if you could incorporate the colours of the Union Jack, so the red, the white, and the blue. Those colours represent Britain, don't they? So I'm going to set up a blog post on Purple Mash where I'd really like you to come and share your posters, and we'll see what they turn out like. I'm also going to pick a winner as well, and I'll have a think about what your prize could be. So post them on Purple Mash, and then when you have done that, I'd like you to put them in your window so everybody on your street can see that it's VE Day and we need to celebrate. I hope that's all okay and you've enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing your posters. So I hope you all stay safe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all back at school soon. Okay, bye.